Did a video on how you can add Bernie Sanders to any of your own personal images in Photoshop, because that is all the rage right now. After Bernie showed up looking like a boss at the presidential inauguration. But I wanted to do another video with the same Photoshop trick because that trend's going to die off, and I wanted you to see how you can apply this to actual real life sessions of your own and save yourself a lot of headaches. So, this photo that I took at a wedding, I loved. However, when you zoom in, she wasn't really in focus. The photo I took right before this one, she was in focus, but her eye was closed. I can easily fix this in Photoshop. All right. I'm going to select both these photos. Before I do that, you want to make sure the two photos that you're going to use are edited completely to your satisfaction for final product. And they also need to have the same or really similar crop, because it'll make it a lot easier to do what you're about to do in Photoshop. Okay, highlighting, right click, edit in Photoshop. It's going to take a second while it pulls that up right into Photoshop. Okay, we got the thinking wheel. We're on our way. Here we go. And there. Okay. Now we're in Photoshop. You'll want to separate those so that they're kind of free floating like yay. Now, one of these images is going to be the main photo, and that's going to be this one here, the one that was in focus, because all I need from this one is the eyeball. So with the main one selected, come on over to the right, drag the background down here, and create a background copy. Then go back over to the eyeball photo, or the non-main photo, the supporting role photo. Select it, hit Command A to select all, grab your Move tool, hold down the Option key, click, and pull it over. What that does is it creates a copy and brings it on over to that guy there, and we can minimize this because we won't need to use that anymore. So now here on the right hand side, you can see that it created a layer when I brought that copy over. With that selected, go to opacity and bring that down to around 50%. It doesn't have to be exact, just somewhere around there. And what you're doing with this, you just want to be able to see through the photo so that you can line it up to the best of your ability. Sometimes you got to zoom in to make sure that it's lined up perfectly. I can see that her face is at a slightly different angle in the photos. So what I'm going to do is actually tilt that photo a little bit. This is selected. Go back up to your Move tool, and I'm going to kind of do that. I think will help. Get that at the right angle. Let's zoom on in a little bit and see again. And this probably won't be perfect for the sake of your time, but yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Come on back over here, raise the opacity back to 100, and then click this button here on the bottom. It's called the vector mask button, and it creates this white vector mask. We are going to turn this white vector mask into a black vector mask. Go up to Edit, Fill, Contents Black, Mode Normal, Opacity 100, OK. What that did was it took the eyeball photo and it just put it behind this in focus photo here. Because all we really need to do is bring the eyeball through. And that is what we are going to do next. So make sure this is still selected. Come on over to your paintbrush. Change this to white. In Photoshop, black and white are opposites. So we have a black vector mask. If we paint white on it, this is what happens. Painted her eyeball through like that. You also want to make sure with your paintbrush that on top here you're in normal mode, opacity 100, and flow is 100. And that's literally like it. I just completely changed that photo with a few clicks. You can do a before and after here if you'd like. The great thing about doing it this way rather than just grabbing the eyeball from the other picture and pulling it over is that you have access to that entire photo still just behind this one. So if for some reason you like went crazy like this and I don't know, had a spasm and you needed to fix that and bring it back to the way it was, all you have to do is change this back to black and you're basically painting this main photo back through. And you can do that 100 million times over and over, back and forth. But this really works on things that have more strict edges, etc. And to finish it out, we're gonna flatten it by going to Layer, Flatten. It merges it all into one photo file now instead of those three. Then File, Save. Since we open this up through Lightroom, when you save it this way, it's going to pull the saved photo back into Lightroom. So if we go back to Lightroom here, there it is. That is the in focus photo with her eyeball pulled through. The eyeball is not as in focus, but it still looks much better than this one, which was super unfocused. Here again is the one with the eyes closed, and then here's the one that we just created. And then you can just export it right from Lightroom with the rest of your photos when you're all done. Alrighty, I hope that helps.